This is my Sears Orion knitting machine, and today we're going to talk about the row counter. This is it. Quite a few vintage machines have similar counters, and they're a bit different from those on modern machines. One issue people always wonder is, how am I going to reset it to 0? Watch what's happening. As I turn the dial away from me, as I was just doing, it finally gets to arrange the numbers across, all matching, whatever they started out. Then you keep turning and it goes to 0. If you did not do that, and I was at a small number, rotating this red dial would eventually get me back to 0, but I'm going to have to pass 999. That's no fun. All 8s, 9s, 0s. Now, under here, let's see if I can get you to... There's the clicker that makes it advance. I'm on the back of the machine, as far from my personal knitting position as I can be. For that to advance, it needs to pass over this, which causes it to go up. Same thing my finger was doing is being accomplished by this point. You are positioned now as though you are standing up and looking over the back of the machine. Table is down here. I am up here. So you're me. This is what allows that row counter trigger to get positioned, loosening that. Recently, something happened and I was passing the row counter trigger without it counting. Let's see if I can make it do that. Yep, it's going past, but it's not counting. It stayed at 15. In my case, this is all it was. Somehow my nut, my little screw adjuster thingy, this had become loosened. That's how it should be for you to place it in the position you want it on the bed. But if it's loose, you see it leans back. And it wasn't positioned to punch the little button. So just hand tight is good enough, and now it should count. Let's see. Just as it should be. If your machine arrives missing this because it's vintage, you could probably make something to fit in that track that would trigger this. I just reached over and unscrewed it completely so you can see what we're looking at. Still in the bed is the screw head sticking out to adjust it. So it seems to me that even if you were missing the hardware, you go to the hardware store and find a set similar to this. It doesn't have to be one that you can do by hand. It would be okay if you needed a screwdriver. What you're wanting is, this is really a bolt, not a screw, because it doesn't have a point. You want the bolt head to fit neatly in the track where this one rides. So you will need to take a measurement, and then you want a pair. This needs to stick out far enough to accept these items and let the cap screw on. The original consists of this metal piece which fits over here, and I'm sure that's simply to reinforce the plastic and not let it buckle and break when we tighten down the screw. Now let me get you some measurements. In case you need to construct your own, here are the measurements I get. They seem to be in millimeters. And we've got 46 by that dimension. Three centimeters or 30 millimeters across the end. I doubt if those are all that sensitive, but I'll bet this is, because this is what actually triggers the counter to count. 7 millimeters. This one might be tricky for me to measure with this equipment, but I'll try. It looks like 4 millimeters is the rise on this ridge. And it is positioned looks like it's centered 17 millimeters across this dimension. So if you want to try to construct your own, that's what you'll be working with. I'm pretty sure that simplifying and crimping a small metal plate would do this. Stock of this sort is available. You need to bend it and drill it. But if you receive a vintage machine without this, I think you could construct one. Now let's put it back together. I've nested the steel plate into the main plastic piece. The triangle point is here. I'm going to lift and rotate, stick them both on the post, and reach around and tighten it. And now let's see if it works right. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Yes, it does.